Destiny Swappers. They are out there. They are out there. Look at this picture. I actually spent, all day going through my old snaps from almost a decade ago to find this photo. Out of respect for this person, of course, I put a big heart over her face to conceal her identity and all that stuff. But this is a picture that I had to show you guys this because I feel like this can really spiritually awaken people as to how destiny swaps work. So this was me in the middle of an actual friend that was trying to destiny swap with me. And it's funny because when our friendship started to come to an end and I was just tired of it, I had a woman in the mall stop me and she told me, you need to get away from your best friend. She's extremely insidiously jealous of you and you need to get away from her as soon as possible. And this picture was taken a week after that woman at the mall told me that. Okay. So thank God I got away from that alive, right? Because that level of obsession is dangerous. And the scary part about it is most women are obsessed like this. They just hide it. They don't show it. They don't want you to see it. But they check your page every day. They're checking your tags, your following list. Many women have obsessive personalities. That's why when their mind is set on something, they don't know how to let it go. That's why when they start arguing, it never ends. Because they have these very obsessive traits that if they don't grow out of it, it hurts them in the end, okay? So destiny swaps can happen to men or women, right? But let's get into this. So destiny swaps. I escaped a destiny swap several times, but I wanted to share this photo with you guys so you guys can see when I was in an actual situation where a friend was trying to do that. And if you see the picture, this was us. We were going to some type of event and she literally switched her entire outfit to match mine. I remember this day, okay? And I had chills going down my spine when she walked in the room dressed like that. Now, I was younger back then, okay? This picture's almost a decade old. So the reason why I can say that I'm so specific about how I move when it comes to women is because I've experienced a lot. So the way that I move when it comes to women is very particular because thank God I got out of that untouched. Anybody can get unalived by a woman with that level of obsession. Thank God that didn't happen to me, but it did happen to Valeria. It can happen to anyone. So that's why I made that video on why you need to protect yourself from women because they're not harmless, as I've spoken about several times. And the same thing applies to men. There are men out there who are watching other men. They see your flow. They see how motivated you are. They see how successful you are. They see how hard you work. And you guys are, playing basketball, going to the gym, lifting weights, bench pressing. And this dude's entire desire is to switch places with you. So both genders have to be on the lookout for that. So let's talk about Valeria and her friend. There's no slideshow today, ladies and gentlemen. There's no slideshow. Just pictures of Valeria and her friend and a couple videos of them because I need you guys to pay attention to what's going on here. When a woman puts her eye on another woman, she falls in love with her. And it's very insidious. It's very evil the way it happens, which is why I say I move with women in a very specific way to protect myself from them. Because I know the psychology behind how they operate if they are not mature and if they're not healed. I know the psychology behind them. That's why that other video had so many men commenting, oh my God, this is so cool hearing this from a woman's perspective. Because when we talk about it, we get told that we're misogynist. No, you're not. The psychology of women is quite interesting. And when a woman falls in love with a woman, and by love, I don't mean romantically. I mean, she views her as her muse. Mentally, she's idolizing her and obsessing over her. It puts the other woman that's being idolized in harm's way. That's why I'm so particular with how I deal with women. I'm not saying that I treat men better. No. I deal with each gender in a particular manner based on the psychology behind how their gender operates. So when it comes to women are always going to covertly try to enmesh themselves with you. Even if they can't directly do it, they will try to slither their way into doing it, where maybe they'll keep calling you, or maybe they'll keep showing up to your store, acting like they want to purchase something, but they're really trying to get close to you. They're very covert with how they do it. And because I know that, the way that I move with women, it's very, very, very specific, because I will not let you enmesh yourself with me. And I will not let you attach yourself to me. And I will put every boundary you can think of in place to avoid you from getting too close to me, because I have to protect my life. And many women have to start adopting this mentality, because there are destiny swappers. Not all women are destiny swappers, okay? Some women, they actually really like themselves and they like who they are and they're confident in who they are. They don't want to be anyone else. But the other sector of women that don't know themselves or have an identity crisis, they are always going to be replicating somebody else behind the scenes, and you have to protect yourself. So let's get into it. So you can see the friend here is trying to transform herself into Valeria. Now, when I first saw these videos and stuff, I thought they were sisters. You know, when I saw the repost, I'm like, oh, wow, that's her sister. Her sister must be in so much pain. But then when I saw, the comments, I'm like, oh, wow, that's not her sister. That's her friend. And then boom, it just dropped into my spirit like a sack. It just dropped in my spirit. And I'm like, oh, she destiny swapped with her. That's what she did. It was an immediate download. Okay. And many different parts, because there's a lot to it. The first thing is, Valeria Marquez was a victim of three things. The first thing is a frenemy woman posing as a friend. Now, I'm going to say something that you ladies may not agree with, but that's okay. Most women are going to be a frenemy to you. Not all, but most will. A true friend, as in regards to the circle of women and the community of women, a true friend is far and few, okay? The second thing that Valeria Marquez was a victim to was a destiny swap. Her friend essentially initiated a destiny swap, but the destiny swap backfired because the world sees what she's doing and she's never going to have any supporters. And we're going to get to that towards the end of the video. We're going to get to the dangers of initiating a destiny swap and failing, and how the destiny swap will backfire. I did a video on this a couple of months ago where it was with Nicki Minaj, and how all of the women in the industry that tried to initiate a destiny swap with Nicki, their careers are now in the toilet, because destiny swaps don't work on everyone. And if someone's a bright star and extremely spiritually protected and you try to swap with them, it's going to backfire in your face. Which is why when I see women who try to destiny swap with me or anything, I laugh at them, because it's going to backfire so terribly. And I'll be able to sit back and watch, because I know I've already been through this before. A lot of the things that I talk to you guys about, I've been through this. I can't even, listen, I haven't even touched the surface with you guys of what God has allowed me to experience. And I thank God the Father, because God has always saw me through. I'm still here. That could have ended with my life ending. God forbid, she could have took my life from me with that type of obsession. But God's hand has always been on me, and it always will be. So I don't fear destiny swappers. I don't fear weird women. I don't fear the world, because I know who I walk with. I walk with God. But sometimes if you allow these type of women too close to you and you end up unlucky, like Valeria Marquez, you may end up having a premature, unaliving situation where your destiny is not fulfilled because somebody essentially swapped with you. And the third thing that Valeria Marquez was a victim of was a humiliation ritual. She was unalived on her live stream. That is a humiliation ritual. When you are humiliated in front of a mass group of people, essentially it's energy harvesting. So although we're all online and we're talking about her and we support her, and even though she's passed, we're giving her love, we're sending her love, we're sending her family love, it's still energy harvesting. So the person that decided to take, oh my God, I'm getting chills. This is so scary. The person that decided to take her out, or the persons, because it was more than one, that performed the humiliation ritual on her, the scary part about it is all of us that are talking about her, posting about her, and all this stuff, that person is drawing on that energy, because a humiliation ritual is done to get the target and then take the mass energy that comes from them being unalive. So this person is going to use that power that's being released right now because she's being talked about. Somebody is going to use that power for whatever they needed to use it for. That's why when you're a bright star, you have to be careful with how close you let people get to you, because if a bright star allows the masses or a person to take their life, in my culture, in island culture, when you don't pass away, like meaning God didn't take you home, like it wasn't natural, and you allow somebody to, not you allow, but you fall into a circumstance where somebody takes your life from you, what's going to happen is your soul and your spirit is going to be very, very troubled. That's why when Cain took out Abel's blood, was crying out to God. Like the person's spirit is very troubled when they lose their life to a person. So when I was growing up, my grandmother always told me, Mel, let God take your life. Don't let a person take it. Because if a person takes it, whether it's through physical, like what happened to this woman, or through spiritual, with sending, omens to, cause you to get sick or lose your life or whatever, your spirit is not going to be at rest. So, you get stuck in some type of dimension. There was some woman that was talking about how Selena is stuck in some weird alternative dimension where she keeps going on stage to perform. And then every time she realizes that she is no longer in the land of the living, she falls to the floor. She starts crying. After 10 minutes, she forgets and she gets back on stage to perform. And then she sees the empty crowd. She falls on the floor. She starts crying, and she keeps doing the same thing over and over again because her soul is not at peace, because her life didn't end, organically. It was taken from her, right? So in life, you have to have street smarts where you don't allow women, to get close to you to do this disrespectful thing that a lot of women do, and that's destiny swapping. That's why I'm very, 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 very weary of female friendships, because the nature of women who are not ascended is just a very comparative in nature. So if they feel like you have something that they're lacking, they will try to replicate you. Okay, so I always warn women about female friendships for 3 reasons. The first reason is most women are in a perpetual state of insecurity and comparison. Therefore, it's impossible for them to have an authentic friendship. If a woman is in a perpetual state of comparison and insecurity, she will never be able to have a healthy friendship with anyone. It'll always be a frenemy situation because she is not solid in herself. Now, Valeria's friend is a beautiful girl. She's very beautiful. I don't really understand why she felt like she had to destiny swap. I don't understand why, but that just goes to show you that it's not just about external beauty. It's about essence. It's about energy. It's about your power, your anointing, your calling. That also can be why somebody would try to trade place with you. The second reason why I warn women a lot of times about female friendships is women compete for the male gaze. So if you're more attractive, they can't sustain a friendship with you. And this has nothing to do with, she already has a husband. There are women who have husbands that still treat attractive women, in a bad manner when other men in the environment are looking at her, even though this woman has a husband. It's just women don't like it when another woman is getting attention from men. Even if they're married, they will still have an issue with it. So the problem when you're doing female friendships, if it's not the right friendship, they're always going to be competing with, oh, well, who looked at her more? What guy looked at her? It's like women don't really grow out of that. So the third thing is women have loyalty to men, but zero loyalty to women. There was a 65-year-old woman, I forgot her name, on TikTok that was talking about how she gave up on female friendships when she was in her late 20s, I believe, because she came to the conclusion that most women, it's very difficult for them to be genuine friends. And she realized that it was causing her more harm and it was more of a liability for her. So she stepped away in order to keep her life going forward. Not saying you have to do that at all. Not saying that at all. But you have to keep in mind things like this. And the thing is men know women. The thing with men, and destiny swapping can happen to men too, by the way. A man can get swapped, okay? The thing is, women have loyalty to men, but zero loyalty to women, and men realize that. It's very interesting when you look at the nature of women. It's very interesting how they will have this undeniable allegiance to the man that they're with. Allegiance, loyalty, love, care, passion, but they will snake the women. They snake women that are next to them, but they have this undeniable loyalty to men. And then that backfires as karma to them because that man ends up dragging them by the ponytail. So it backfires on them. And I think a lot of times why it backfires is because if you're not loyal to your own gender, meaning you don't treat women respectfully, you're mean to women, you treat women badly, you set women up, you do all that stuff, why would you think that a relationship with a man would work out for you? You are in your lower levels. Your energy is tainted. True love won't land on the laps of women like that because you hate your own gender. So it's going to be very how are you going to, snake women that are around you and be terrible to women that are around you and then get with a man and give him your allegiance and think that, and the thing is, the problem is, the problem with that is they will treat women like trash while worshiping their boyfriends and husbands. And this is why a lot of men don't trust women. I'm not saying that men are better than women, but believe it or not, a lot of men don't trust women. And that's why they operate with women the way they do in relationships. Men don't trust women. And it's essentially because they see what you do to your friends. Okay? They see what you do to your daughter. They see what you do to your mother. They see what you do to women who are strange. Like, they see how mean you are to women. They see how you talk to them about your girlfriend's personal business. Okay. They see how you're the mean girl in your friend group. They see how you will air out your ex-friend's business. Men see it all. And because they see it all, they move with women in a particular manner. And because of that, 85% of the time they see what you do to other women. Therefore, men leave women very emotionally depleted in relationships and marriage. A lot of women, their biggest complaint is, okay, I feel like he's not emotionally there. I feel like my husband's not emotionally present. My boyfriend's not emotionally present. When a man is with you and he's not emotionally present, he doesn't trust you, okay? He doesn't want to be vulnerable with you. He doesn't want to open up to you because he feels like he cannot trust you. And even if he does, he's still on the fence with you. And a lot of men probably won't say this because men are kind of programmed by society to not expose their deep internal vulnerabilities. And I think that a lot of men, essentially, they just don't trust women for some reason, which is why they do all these wild things in relationships. Okay. What are the 3 streams of destiny swaps? Physical destiny swap is essentially what you saw my ex-friend doing in that photo, where she was trying to dress like me, talk like me, walk like me, use my verbiage. She was trying to do a physical destiny swap. She couldn't destiny swap with my essence because my essence is too dominating. So even when she tried to like talk like me, people would look at her in a weird way because it didn't fit her. It looked very awkward on her. And what a lot of women don't understand is when you're stealing someone's personality or you're stealing somebody's flow, people aren't dumb. They can tell when you're just, it's not giving, you know? And I talked about this with the Secret Muse, even though, you know, women that I grew up with, women around me, even women online that try to replicate and duplicate, people can tell who your muse is. They can tell that you're replicating. They can tell that your personality is a replication of your friend or whatever. Like, people can tell what you're doing. And women don't like when they get caught trying to destiny swap with another woman. They want to do it in private. But anybody who pay attention will notice it. Now, the second type of destiny swaps is the spiritual one, okay? That is crown exchanges and essence removal. This essentially happens when a woman or a man tries to go into the realms of the spirit to take your crown, okay? Or to mess around in your destiny. Now, I have experienced physical destiny swaps, like that friend, which is one of the many, because the majority of the friends I've had in my past have tried to do that. Or spiritual destiny swaps, which I've also experienced with family members that were trying to mess with my destiny in the realms of the spirit. And once I did what I had to do and I did my prayers, they had no choice but to bring it back. So who usually destiny swaps? Women, I think, are notorious destiny swappers. I'm not saying men don't destiny swap, but I feel like women do it more. But women tend to develop obsessions with other women. Women are obsessed with other women. When a woman has her eye on a woman, she's going to study her. She's going to study her style. She's going to study her flow. She's going to stalk her online. Women get very obsessive with other women. That's why they're so good at destiny swapping, because their obsession gives them the driving force to be able to complete it, because women have very obsessive behaviors. And when you understand that, you are going to navigate life with women differently. Okay. The second thing is people who misuse power and influence. Okay. Artists who steal upcoming artists' music, higher ups at jobs who steal employee business ideals, people who try and spiritually attack you to take your star. That is essentially what happened to Valeria. I believe Valeria was talking about, or essentially she spoke, somebody said that when she passed, they heard her voice in the background saying, you know, Vivian, how could you do this? How could you do this? Allegedly, spiritually, they said they heard a voice that was screaming that in Spanish a couple seconds after she passed. How could you do this? How could you do this? How could you do this? So when somebody passes away, somebody spoke about this on TikTok actually, when somebody passes away, the moment that their spirit leaves their body, their spirit goes straight to the person that committed the crime. Okay, their spirit goes to the person that initiated the unaliving. So if someone passes away via a setup or at the hands of another person, when they take their last breath, their spirit is going to go right in front of the person that did it. So they're going to know who did it while they pass, right? So that's why she was essentially saying that in the realms of the spirit a few seconds after she passed. How could you do this? How could you do this? How could you do this? So it was revealed to her who did it. Okay. And she spiritually wanted to take Valeria's essence, but the destiny swap backfired because nobody's rocking with her. Like, people can see, you know, the type of friend that you were. Allegedly, we don't know if she orchestrated, it's still alleged, but people can see the type of woman that you are, and people are not rocking with it. So a lot of women that try to cosplay or go through life cosplaying, I feel like a lot of women are cosplaying in life. They're not really who they are. You don't know who they are until you get to know them on a deeper level. A lot of women are cosplaying, okay? But when the world sees who you really are, the destiny swap will be unsuccessful because nobody's going to support you. Okay. Spiritually abusive people and or jealous family and friends usually will be the one trying to destiny swap. The Holy Spirit, the ultimate guide, will not allow destiny swappers to go untouched. So when I found out who was trying to mess around with my destiny, spiritually speaking, as far as my family, and I started doing my prayers and I started asking God to judge those people, they slowly started to disappear because I think they started to feel my prayers. They started to feel it, and they walked themselves out of my life because they knew that, okay, now there's going to be consequences for our actions. And it was 2 women, not surprised. Women are notorious destiny swappers. I'm not saying men don't do it, but when it comes to women, if somebody's trying to destiny swap with you, it's 90% of the time going to be another woman. Okay. What they do will backfire. It will backfire depending on how spiritually protected the person was. They will destroy their own reputation. When someone is trying to destiny swap, you're destroying your own destiny in the process. And things start to collapse. Okay. This is part 1. Let me know if you guys want part 2.